All right, and we back. Going to talk a little bit about each team in the Final Four this year. I correctly predicted 2 of the Final Four teams. I did not correctly predict all 4. I had Houston and Duke. I do have Duke winning. As a Kansas guy, it does kind of suck to say out loud, but you bet with your head, not your heart. My second chance bracket is actually perfect. I have one of my brackets. We're going to pull it up live, actually. This is being recorded on Wednesday the 2nd, so this is, 3 days before the Final Four starts. I'm going to pull it up live, actually, for you guys. Where is it? Da-da-da-da. And we're going to name it Nealathon Video Bracket. So you can see that top one. Oh, it's not focusing at all. Whoa. Let's focus this. Come on. There we go. Oh, 65,099.7%. Yeah, I made a couple brackets, but that one's easily my best. Women's bracket, I just randomly did a bunch of them. Come on. I need to get my face out of focus. So in the top 150,000, you can see that. My second chance bracket, literally number 1 in the world, I have perfect. And then women's second chance bracket, 16,000. So you can see I'm pretty fucking good at this shit. Not to suck my own dick, but at the end of the day, we're going to talk about each one of the teams. I'm going to kind of rank them. Obviously, each one of these is 1 seeds, so it's going to be pretty, minute discrepancies between each one of them. But to me, Auburn's the worst team in the Final Four, right? They've shown flashes of greatness in each game in terms of where they've shown that dominance, and they've gone on incredible runs, right? Obviously, 28-4 run against Creighton, 20-2 against Michigan, 17-0 against Michigan State. But outside of those runs, they outscored like 20 points during those 3 games. They've ever played every team in this Final Four. They beat Florida, they beat Houston, and they lost to Duke. So this is a team, it would be a very interesting revenge story if they beat Florida and eventually lost to Duke. Obviously, this team has one of the most efficient offenses in the country. They had the number 1 offense going into the tournament. They still have Jedi Broom. And each one of their primary 4 starters shot north of 37% from deep. So this is a great team. But at the end of the day, Broom also was dealing with a little bit of an ankle tweak and hyperextended his elbow. Auburn just doesn't look like the same team in the last 4 weeks. And obviously, they're still great enough to make it to this tournament. And I think they'll win, obviously, if Jedi Broom is able to play okay. I don't even think he needs to play great for them to win, right? But the perimeter offense has to step it up. Defense has been the story of this team, right? They've held each of the last 6 opponents to 70 points or fewer. And again, if Broom keeps averaging 24 and 15, he's gonna be awesome. And the threes, if they keep falling, Auburn's gonna win the national championship. The other side to me is Florida, right? I think Florida's the 3rd best team in this. So I think to me the best 2 teams are on that right side of the bracket with Duke and Houston. But Florida, right? Florida looked great going into the dance, but UConn looked great against them. And they almost took down Florida. Same thing against Texas Tech, right? If they didn't end that game on an 18-4 run, Texas Tech is in this spot. Walter Clayton has just been fucking incredible. Thomas Hall has been awesome as well. But to me, the run started against Florida on February 8th, right? Even without Elijah Martin to beat Auburn, and this Florida team plays incredible offense. Thomas Hall has been a great hub for them. Walter Clayton has been awesome. Elijah Martin has been a big piece of this team on the wing. They have an elite backcourt, obviously Clayton, Martin, and Will Richard. They're all seniors, all gamers. They've hit 76 triples each this season minimum. Denzel Aberdeen's a junior. He's an absolute dog. He's going to start for them next year. But defense is kind of a question mark, right? Every one of those teams that they've played so far in the tournament has averaged 1 point per possession. And that's, we just saw JT Toppin and Darian Williams just kill them inside. If Toppin didn't, miss about half his shots at the rim and all 5 of his 3 throws, they'd probably smoke Florida. But if coulda, shoulda, woulda, it doesn't matter. The backcourt trio we've just mentioned, Hall has to step up. If they all play well, like they did against Maryland, things got out of hand pretty quickly, and that's what's going to happen against Auburn. I think Florida's going to win this game, personally. If they can cut down on their giveaways, even so, each one of their games has had a -5 in turnover department as well. If they can cut down on that and the Big Four, show up, they're going to roll Auburn and set up a matchup against Duke like a lot of people predicted. Obviously, I said this. I think Houston's the 2nd best team in the bracket at this point. Obviously, unfortunately, they're going to run into Duke. And they've had a gauntlet, right? I mean, listen, Gonzaga in the 2nd round, Purdue in damn near pretty much a true road game in the Sweet 16. And then Tennessee, they smoked Tennessee, right, in the Elite 8. Shutting down both Purdue and Tennessee in the second weekend was awesome, but Duke is a different animal, right? They've averaged 94 points over its last 11 games in which Cooper Flag was healthy. And even if they do win that, it's going to be tough because then they'd have to shut down Florida's red-hot offense, theoretically, in this point. Defense wins champions, but this defense is going to have to really earn it if they want to prove they want to win a national championship. And I want either Houston or Duke to win. Duke, obviously, because my brackets have them. But Houston, because, at this point, you're rooting for your conference. I'm a Kansas guy. I want the Big 12 to be good. And obviously, the reason to lean on this team and to predict this team to win is this defense, right? During its 17-game win streak, they've held opponents to 61 points per game, only less than 1,000 points through 16 games. Gonzaga is the only team to get over 70 points. 68 points, right? LJ Cryer, Milo Zuzan, Emmanuel Sharp convert at a 40% clip. The whole team shoots at almost a 40% clip. So obviously, if they go cold, this team is still relentless on the offensive glass. The problem with this team, again, is they shoot less than 50% from inside the arc, and they don't get to the free throw line at all. And they're 2-4 when teams do get to 68 points. So that's troublesome considering Duke has an elite offense, Florida has an elite offense, Auburn has a great offense. So it's going to be interesting. Listen, this team, you know the recipe. You get hot from deep and you shut the water off. Like it's simple. Houston's almost undefeated when they made 7 threes in a game. That's it. The only loss was in November against San Diego State in a game that just went. They should not have lost that game, right? If Uzen Cryer and Sharp do their thing on the perimeter, Houston could be the first team to win a national championship in their home state since 1975. But finally, the Dukies. I think they're the best team in the tournament still. I think I've predicted them to win the national championship from the get-go. Arizona kept the margin respectable, but like at the end of the day, the other 3 games have been 20-point blowouts for Duke. Even Alabama, they threatened to make it interesting in the Elite Eight. Duke locked in, went on a 13-0 run, and that was the game. Duke and Houston were my top 2 teams coming into this tournament, and unfortunately, they have to play in a Final Four matchup instead of a national championship. But these are 2 teams that have gone 60-2 since December. That's fucking unreal. If they can survive Houston's defense, we probably might head for a Duke-Auburn rematch. That'd be pretty cool. That was a game in December that Duke won. Janai Broome, Cooper Flag, Player of the Year, 1 and 2, a rematch. But yeah, according to KenPom, this is the best team in the last 25 years, which is pretty fucking crazy, right? Cooper Flag's obviously their defense is tenacious. Florida adjusted efficiency margin, which is what KenPom uses, was 36.22, which is almost as good as UConn's was last year. And UConn obviously was a dog. They ran through everybody last year. And theirs was 36.43. Duke's is 39.63, 10% better than the Gators. So theoretically, they're 10% better than one of the most dominant teams we've ever seen. The problem that I run into with Duke is just a feel problem. They're a freshman-heavy team, and freshman-heavy teams generally don't win. I think the last one we would have seen was Duke in 2014, 2015, so exactly a decade ago. And they haven't played almost any close games, which is important, right? Against Arizona, 11 for 12 in the last 2-ish minutes. Kept that one, keeping them at bay. And it doesn't really make sense to talk about the game in the ACC championship game when Cooper Flag wasn't out. But we've seen, and again, this was in November, December. Cooper Flag turned the ball over down 2 with 30 seconds left against Kansas and Kentucky in November. I don't anticipate him doing that because he has been a much better player since then, but just that is a worrisome thing, right? But if they're going to win it all, to me, if business continues as usual, right? Cooper Flag, Colin Knipp will lead this team. Tyrese Proctor has been a flamethrower. Kaman Malawak has been a great rim runner. And James, listen, you want to talk about a guy you don't want to leave open, but you have to, and he just makes you pay. Listen, they've held 37 of 38 teams to under 78 points. Every team in this tournament at this point has had to rally from a second half deficit, except Duke. If Duke can continue to be as good as they have been and continue to play the way they have, they're going to win a national championship. And they're my pick to do so. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to talk about the Final Four teams. Final Four gearing up to be awesome. I know there hasn't been as many upsets in March. We do love it, but it'll be interesting to see an all-one seed Final Four for the first time in almost 20 years. And on top of it, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Cooper Flag, Janai Broome, Walter Clayton, Emmanuel Sharp. It's going to be really fun. If you enjoy, make sure to comment down below. Comment down below who you think is going to win the national championship. Make sure to comment down below any other videos you want to see me do. Make sure to like and subscribe. And YouTube thinks you're going to like this video. Find out if they're right.